All right, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get this meeting started. Good morning, online. Let's kick it off with a tell me something good. Smart. There he is. What good happens in your businesses? Morning.
So,
You have a seat?
yeah.
Left the denim roses. Tell me something good. What could happen in your businesses in the last week? Clark always has something. Clark, you got anything for the tell me something goods?
I do, but I don't have it organized.
Uh-oh.
Where's your note cards? You always get
I have it right here. I'm just pulling it up.
I have two closing tomorrow.
You have two? It's a good day. Happy Friday tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Give me just 1 second.
Happy hour with Marguerite. And then while Clark's pulling that up, Carmen, what do you have? I believe you have some tell me something goods. All right.
One next week, and I had two by consultations yesterday.
Two consultations yesterday. Wow. Round of applause for Ms. Carmen.
I had actually 7 new agents that just onboarded over the last
7.
week or so.
One more.
But Ryan Lynn in San Jose, Stephen Castaneda up in El Dorado Hills, Robert Nagel in Sacramento, Wayne Philip Wright, who lives here locally, Ames Sabella in San Jose, and Amelia, or I already mentioned Amelia before. So
There we go. Seven new agents. Welcome to the new agents. Welcome.
Awesome.
And then Haley, you had
Had a closing, yeah, and then I got actually a referral from JJ that I've been following up with, and originally she just wanted an insurance quote. I saved her a couple $1,000s on her insurance, and then she messaged me and was like, I think we're still thinking about moving, so I just been staying top of mind. So she's thinking about listing next week.
nice. Congratulations. It's closing and the listing. And then what else do we have? I think Missy has three listings in the last week or so that she's gotten. Yeah, so Missy's doing well. We talked about Carmen. Adrian, I think, had a recent closing. And we got a buyer in contract. Adrian got a buyer in contract. Valerie, $1 million. You know, prices are getting crazy when there's a $1 million house in contract in Citrus Heights. There you go. We got $1 million house in the Heights. And then, anyways,
I thought we'd say that.
never thought you'd say that, but you know what? It's good time to be real.
Yeah.
You're doing that. All right, from this key. So we do have some plan. Any other tell me something good before we move on? All right. The upcoming. Oh, so this Saturday, in-house lender. We're going to be on the radio show. So I want to hear JJ Mack when he talks about as far as the wonderful world of lending goes. This is a fun one because I mean JJ's a dear friend, and we agree on most things, but we don't agree on what we covered today. So it's kind of interesting. And then
But are you still friends?
but we're still friends. And then we have obviously the wonderful Miss Lisa Massey. You know, we're gonna be carrying on the MLS. And then that's your radio show photo. And then
Flip for that.
it was in high school. You didn't get it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then Thursday, August 14th. Sophia's gonna be coming in. So we're doing like a lot of tech updates. Like today we're gonna be talking about the Metro list, and we're talking about Focus First. We're also gonna be talking about EXP World. It shocks me how many people have not updated or are aware of all the resources, even though they've been with the company for a while. There have been some changes, and they're there at your fingertips. And also, we're changing from Slack. At the end of this month, Workplace goes to read only. So you're not on the Slack bandwagon by the end of this month. You're going to want to be. And so Sophia's going to be covering that with us on August 14th. So make sure you don't miss that. Right, Joe? You don't want to miss Sophia.
No,
absolutely
not.
She's the best. Joey's wife, by the way, and you guys didn't know. And then Powerhouse Spring Benson is going to be coming in August 21st. She is going to be doing a presentation at Placer County Association of Realtors and on the 50 side. So if you can't make Thursday, but you can do Friday, go and bring a guest. Do not show up alone. She is one of the hardest people to get because she's so highly sought after and such in high demand. So we're very fortunate to be able to have her coming live and in person at PCAR August 21st from 10 to noon. And then she will be doing a lunch here afterwards as well. And then after that, our very own managing broker for Northern California EXP will be here live and in person August 28th, Mr. Ryan Rosas. And then after that, Where's Frank? Is Frank there? Nope, no Frank. But we will
He's
be
actually
doing,
working on the tournament today. So
he is?
yeah, he's working on getting it for us.
So his tournament is September 29th, so it might be a little bit cooler, might be great weather. Shotgun starts at 7:30, be there at 7. The best golf tournament in the area. No offense to APM's golf tournament. Second best. This is the best. Something else we disagree on. Something else we disagree on. Yeah. He's on the podium. You're on the podium. But don't want to miss this. So please scan the QR code. And I think that they might still be looking for sponsors. So reach out to Frank directly and see if he's looking for sponsors still.
They're always looking for sponsors.
They are?
That all benefit Shriners.
Yeah. So go back real quick, Jose. So yeah, it all goes to the shrine. Where is it? It says Shriner somewhere on here. Shriner. It all goes to Shriners kids. So I mean, it's a great cause. You're having fun and helping the kids. So swingforthekids.net. That's where you can go learn more. Go ahead, Jose. And then every Friday we do a bolt trail. So EXP likes to offer you options, not only in terms of businesses and splits and team structure, but also in CRMs. So they offer Lofty, they offer Close, CLOZE, and they offer Bolt Trail, formerly KV Core. So when Boomtown, which was a mega CRM, was bought by KV Core, they rebranded as Bolt Trails. And Alex Dyer spends every single Friday walking you through how to make money using this tool that you have for free with EXP. Go ahead and scan the QR code. It'll be live here, or you can also Zoom. And then after that, it's time for our mortgage minute with our in-house lender, Mr. JJ Mack. Everybody, please give him a round of applause.
Yeah. You just gave me flashbacks right there. There's a client of mine, one of our first clients ever. His name was Craig Lofton. And my branch manager at the time used to say, "How's it going with the Lofty loan?" Like, Lofton, it's Craig Lofton. And anyways, we've done like 6 loans for him since then. Great client, and worked at the Roseville Auto Mall, worked all these like salesperson. Guy just passed away. Like,
Yeah.
you don't realize how important these clients are to us, and it hit me deep. You get in touch with these people, and they mean something to you. And so then so enjoy the time you have with people. I don't know, it just hit me. So sorry guys, but anyways, so also I think Frank Crandall's tournament's one of the best too. I actually sponsor it. It's gonna be fun. I am really looking forward to it. So I've got a horse moment to be out there. I might hit you with my ball because it goes left and right, it never goes straight. But I am really looking forward to being there. All right, so let's talk a little bit about mortgage and then some updates in the industry. A really cool update for you guys. I really can't wait to share with you. But before I do that, anybody know what is going on? And if you look at the Roseville market in particularly, do you think prices have gone up or down year over year? Down? Yeah, they've gone down. But do you know how much they've gone down? 0.2%.
Yeah.
0.2%. So it's like, we have a lot of the clients will come in, they're like, "Man, I've heard prices have dropped. I heard things are going down." I'm like, "You're right, they are 0.2%. So, it's really good to realize just how much something is happening. The media makes things look like it's a lot more than it is. This is a good thing. It's a normalized market, right? We're not, the prices aren't dropping out beneath us. Prices aren't skyrocketing. This gives you some time for buyers to get in the market. The standard, I think the home price average in Roseville right now is $658,000, the average price of the home. And homes are still pending within 16 days on an average. So 16 days on the market, is not like it was, last year, but still that's a decent market for buyers to get out there and start shopping, because now they're not going in 2 days. So obviously that means inventory is stabilizing, right? That means you have a better option for buyers. You have more. It's not as tight as it was a few months ago. It gives buyers a little bit more breathing room, so it allows you to go out there and show and be able to potentially get some of the more closing costs covered, your 2-1 buy downs, these types of things. This is still a competitive market in a lot of ways. I know there are some homes that are still they're now sitting on the market, but don't let the one or, the homes that you are seeing sitting control the narrative of the rest of the market out there. This is still a competitive market, even with this slight softening that you guys are seeing. So interest rates wise, still are sitting, in the sixes, but we had a really good price break this last week. We talked about it last week. We went pretty in depth on it, but so I won't get too much into what happened there. But with that being said, we are probably seeing some cuts coming in September. So look for that. And if that happened, so what? Interest rates have come down right now. If the Fed changes the rates in September, do you think that's going to bring rates down, mortgage rates down? Probably not, because things are already happening, right? They're already realizing this is going to take place. So now the banks are saying, hey, we believe this is happening, this is coming. Rates are going to start coming down. People are putting their money into different things, and that makes the bond market pick up some steam and makes interest rates go down. People are pulling their money out of one thing, the stock market, maybe putting in the bond market, pulling the money out of the bond market, putting in the stock market. That's what makes interest rates go up and down. So I want to talk about a program that I've been having a lot of success with. We've been having a lot of success with. Have you ever done a conventional loan, but not a regular conventional loan, a home ready or a home possible loan? Anybody know what that is? Most people don't. And it's really important that you do, because if your clients are qualified for a 3.5% down FHA loan, or if they're going with a conventional 3% down loan, you should be asking your loan officer if there's a way that they can get into a home ready or home possible loan. It might not be for everybody, but it's worth looking into. Why do I say that? Before they go and get an FHA loan with a high mortgage insurance factor, slightly higher interest rate, home ready, home possible, make it possible for the median average home buyer income limit to get a mortgage with a lower rate, a lower mortgage insurance rate, and the coolest part about this is it allows them to use income called border income. So if your client is having trouble qualifying for a mortgage, and the first thing they're saying is, hey, we should go FHA, maybe they should be asking, are you going to have somebody stay with you in your house? Are you going to have a roommate? Because you can use that income to help you qualify for this loan. It's really cool. We've done it several times, and it makes the difference, and it will save them a ton of money on their monthly mortgage payment. So make sure you're asking that question to your loan officer before you just throw them in that FHA loan. Not saying FHA is bad. We do a lot of them, but if you have the option between the two, that home ready, that home possible loan is going to be better most of the time.
JJ, do you have to have some kind of rental agreement to prove that, or is that verified at all?
You do. Yes, you do have to have whoever you're going to have that border income from. You need to make sure that you have something from them. And it can't be, hey, I'm going to get $8,000 from this guy. It has to meet the natural, rental, implications.
And does it have to be seasoned, or just like, hey, it's first month starting like?
Yep. Just have that rental agreement in place. It's really simple. The bank's going to trust that they're going to have that. It's conventional.
What was the percent down?
3%. And not only that, but they go to 50% debt to income ratio. Unlike a lot of other conventional loans, 43, 45. So it's a lot easier to qualify. Conventional wants to make it better for these median income borrowers. Now, go ahead.
What about any kind of rehab loan would that work if it was rehab later in there?
There is some like EEM, like energy efficient mortgages that you can team up with it.
I have one's that's doing a rehab. That sounds like it might work. I got an FHA 203K or something like that or something.
Yeah, so like the energy efficient isn't like your standard 203K where you can do everything. It has to be energy efficient thing.
Okay.
So roof, windows, insulation, things that are going to create the home to be more energy efficient.
Got it.
Not necessarily like your 203K where you're gonna have the ability to do anything and everything
Got it.
on the standard 203.
What does their credit need to be?
Standard, conventional, in credit score requirements, obviously anything better than 640 is gonna be a better rate. There is some income limits, so just be aware of that, the person that's qualifying has to not be making over $80,000 a year. So like I said, it's not for everybody, but if you're looking in that $300,000 price range, that's the kind of person, or less, that's the kind of person that's gonna qualify for this. We've had a lot of those clients right now, in that range that are able to utilize. And again, it goes up to 50% debt to income ratio, and it's lower mortgage insurance and it's a lower interest rate. So it's easier to qualify than your standard 3% down conventional. You're not looking at a 6.5% interest rate. You might be looking at a 6% interest rate. You're not looking at a 30 basis point mortgage insurance rate. You're looking at a 15 basis point mortgage insurance rate. So that $80,000 goes a lot more, gives you a lot more bang for your buck. So it's like making $100,000 because that $20,000 extra dollars is in interest rate and in mortgage insurance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it gives you a lot of leverage there. And you can utilize non-occupying co-borrowers. So if you want to put somebody else on the loan to help qualify, put them on. Kind of cool. Okay. So the thing I wanted to talk to you about that I was excited about. Anybody know what a trigger lead is? Remember a trigger lead? Oh my gosh. So remember when you have a client and you get them, you go and you tell them to get qualified with the lender and they go do it. And then the next day they call you and be like, I'm getting like 100 phone calls from other lenders that want to qualify me.
Yeah.
That's what a trigger lead is. It's annoying and I hate it. It's like one of the worst things about being a lender because every single time when we do everything we can to make it stop, but there's only so much you can do. These credit companies, they sell the data to these other lenders, and I hate it. These guys are just scoundrels. Anyways,
Dirty upgraded credit report a client that's like, that does opt out of that.
there's an opt.
Package that.
There's not. There's not anything that you can do other than put your name and number into this opt-out pre-screen thing, and even that doesn't work a lot of the time. We take their phone numbers out, we take their emails out before we pull, they still somehow come up with their information. It's so annoying. Here's what's happening though. A bill just passed and they're getting rid of trigger leads.
Yeah.
I couldn't be more excited about it. So your clients now, it's going to the president's desk. We got it, signed the bill, now it's going to Trump's desk. He's already said he's going to sign it. So in about 6 months, this will be gone. So still have to wait 6 months out, something around there. But about 20% of clients, between 15 to 20% of clients end up going with a different lender because of trigger leads. It's a big percentage of clients that end up utilizing somebody else. And not our clients, we don't really have as big of a detriment to it, but it still is just annoying.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Sometimes, and here's why it's exciting for you guys, because sometimes what happens is those trigger leads go to the other lender, they get them qualified, and then they say, hey, you should use my real estate agent. And all of a sudden, your client is now out showing, you're gone for the weekend or doing something, you don't answer your phone right away. Oh, well, this other guy said I should use his person, and now they're showing my house. So this is going to really help out. It's going to allow us to not have to worry about that. So I wanted to share with you how excited I was about that. So we talked about the industry being normalizing. We talked about the home ready, home possible loan. Talked about trigger leads. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about? Any other mortgage related things that you wanted to bring up or anything I can help share with you?
PJ.
Yeah.
JJ. There, a lot of the new home subdivisions are all offering these like way bought down rates, but it's required to use their lender. How are you guys, can you compete with that or no?
So hard because these new home builders are the ones that are actually putting up their money. It's not the lender itself.
Yeah.
So the only way to really compete with it is to have a conversation with the builder up front and to somehow create some sort of agreement, because we can do the same thing as a lender, we can go in there and we can say, hey, so we've done this actually. We have a few new home companies that we work with. We go in there, we say, hey, you have a house that's not selling, and we can do this with any of your guys' listings too, by the way. This isn't just for builders. You have a home, have it listed for sale. It's not selling. How can we help you sell it? Well, maybe the seller pays 2% in cost. So if the house is $600,000, that's $12,000. That's going to buy that rate down. Now you can go advertise that lower interest rate.
Is that a 2-1 buy down or is that a permanent buy down?
Permanent. So you're saying this is the interest rate on this home. If you come and you look at this house, this is your rate.
It's just 2% buyer rate down.
So if you do it before the deal is in escrow, this is a rate based off of today's pricing. And that is not considering all the other LLPAs on it. Loan level price adjustments would make rates go higher or lower. This is going to allow that interest rate today, instead of being 6.5%, we just are doing this for one of our clients, they're able to advertise an interest rate of 4.875%.
So like almost a 1.5 going down.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a big difference.
That's permanent, it's not.
Permanent.
It's not a 2-1 buy down.
No, this is what your rate you're getting. Now, if the client comes in and they have a 600 credit score and they have a high debt to income ratio, those LLPAs will be tacked on to that rate.
Is there we're going too deep into this, is there a specific way for us to advertise it? Cause I know you guys are required to advertise like the.
Yeah, we'll give you all that verbiage. We'll say like, here's the interest rate, here's the APR. But, and in the MLS, you can only say special financing available, I think. But, what you could do is you could advertise it, yourself at open houses. You could have your flyers, you could have your things, have your sign riders, special financing. So we've done that with a few of our listing agents, and they've got some traction from it. But the thing is they have to put the money up front. It's not up front. Excuse me. They have to once
agree to pay it.
yes, once the loan closes, they're paying that. So the seller side will be paying.
Wanted to chime in on that. The only other time I've seen where a builder will still give the credits and incentives that they are offering is if the buyer is using down payment assistance, because they don't offer it. So they can, but they also cannot discriminate against buyers that need down payment assistance. And they can't say, well, you can't buy this house because you don't have your own down payment. So I've done it 3 times, 3 different builders that they have honored the credit incentives they were willing, that they were gonna give regardless, and they were able to use down payment assistance and use us as their lender because the builder didn't offer it through their lender.
The rate buy down, just, because a lot of builders are doing like the rate buy down if you use their lender.
Yeah, so I've had it go a couple of different ways. I've had it where they said, well, if you're not gonna use our lender, we'll still give you the builder credit, but we won't give you the lender credit.
Oh.
I've also had it where they've said, we'll still give you that credit. Or they negotiated somewhere in the middle, but I have not had it where they said, well, if you use an outside lender, we're not gonna give you any of it, because they were using down payment assistance and the buyers needed. They've been able to, that's been kind of the only time that I've seen them get the full honor of that credit is when there's not a program that they offer.
Great point. Great question, Lori. Yeah. Yeah, it's always one of those things. It's such a
Well, a side note for all of you guys, the rules he related to in the MLS doesn't necessarily, it's just for the MLS, meaning you can't say that in the MLS. That doesn't mean you can't say it on your socials and your advertising and flyers and open house and
Very soon.
pretty much anywhere else you can
Nobody's told
say it as long as you're within the requirements. So we all get caught up, oh, the MLS says we can't do that. They say you can't do it in Metro Hills. They don't say you can't do it outside of other ways there.
yeah, absolutely.
Also applies to commissions, everything.
Yeah, great point, Marguerite. That's definitely be utilizing the social, because man, you're gonna go a long way, especially if you sponsor the ad or sponsor the post or whatever. Get it out there to other people, not just your connections, but everybody else that's out in that market. And Ryan, our gal that you met last week, can help you guys do that. Last but not least, next week on Thursday, before you come here, come to our office. You don't have to come inside the office, just come in our parking lot, drive through. We're having a pop-up coffee truck. It's a really cool little thing. I think you saw a picture of it.
Horse trailer.
It's like a little horse trailer they've created into like this really cool, nifty little coffee pop-up bar. So come get your lattes, your espressos, your matchas, whatever you want. It's on us at 9 a.m. Come get it and then come here to the meeting. And we just want to thank you guys for all you do for us. We appreciate you.
So, thanks, JJ.
All right.
All right.
All right, thanks, JJ. So up next, we have Art Games. So this is he's gonna be going over a tool. I don't typically like these meetings to be pitch fests. This is something I've actually been using now for about 4 to 5 months. I learned about this down in San Diego, and oftentimes the clients are used to hearing, hey, I want to hear market analysis. Hey, what's my house worth? What if I could show you the odds of your house selling? That's a different thing. Let's hop on a Zoom. So that's one of the ways that I'm able to get people on Zoom listing appointments without having to drive out to their house in the middle of Timbuktu. Hey, well, you know what? Let's just hop on a Zoom. I'll show you the odds of what it would look like to sell your house in today's market. Would that be beneficial for you? Then I use Art's system. So Art, take it away.
All right, can everybody hear me okay? I'm hoping my
Yeah.
mic's working. Okay, very good. Let me just turn on my video here. Hopefully that will work.
We
All
got
right.
you.
I think it's clear. Okay, very good. Hey, my name is Art Gamez. I am the sales and support manager for a company called Focus First. Focus First has been around since 2008. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. That way I can show you what I'm talking about here. Just give me a moment. All right, so this is our website here. First of all, I'm not here today to sell you anything. I will offer you something at the end. But my main focus today is just to do a demonstration of how Focus First works, mostly with real estate reviews. So can everybody see this right now? I'm at the Focus First website.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So at the website, I'm just going to scroll down here and find our owner. Where is he at? There he is. There's Tim. Tim DeLeon used to work for Hewlett Packard in Fort Collins, Colorado. He was a developer and project manager there for a very long time. His wife here, Joanne, was and currently is a real estate agent, and somehow she convinced him to leave Hewlett Packard to become a real estate agent with her. So that was kind of interesting. So that was back in 2008. He came over, and guess what? Right away, the housing market crash happened. So his first few years were right in the middle of that crash. That's when he decided to try and develop something to try and help him and his wife do pricing, the odds of selling, like you heard before. Just kind of try and look at patterns. He thought there's got to be an easier way to do this. So as a developer, he created this Excel worksheet that just created some data for him. His wife was using it, he was using it, and they just used it for personal reasons at the time. And then everybody in the brokerage started seeing these graphs that he had created. And they're like, hey, where'd you get that from? And he was like, yeah, it's just something I created. So then I started sharing it with everyone in the brokerage. And then Joanne eventually is like, you know what, we should start selling this. So that's where it became a company of Focus First. It started off in just within the brokerage, then it expanded into Fort Collins, Colorado, then all of Colorado, and then now we're all over the country and into Canada and even other parts of the world as well. So that's how it started back in 2008. The main thing with Focus First is it's mainly 2 tools in one. I'm mostly going to demonstrate the real estate review. And a real estate review is just a great way to do a snapshot view of, hey, this is what's been going on in your neighborhood over the last year. It's a great way to just show them market activity and also give them an idea of some closed properties over the last year or the last few months to give you an idea of pricing. The second tool within Focus First is the actual CMA. That's a little bit more in depth. And I'll show you a sample of one later on, but I don't want to get into that because that's like a whole new class. So we'll just talk about real estate reviews. So the way Focus First works is it actually works off of Excel, believe it or not. Just give you a little spoiler alert, we are working on a web version, so that way we can get away from Excel. But for now, it does work off of Excel, so you would need Excel on your Mac or your PC for it to work properly. So this is what the actual program looks like right here, Focus First. But the way it works is you go to your MLS and you do a search. You do a neighborhood search. You select all statuses, go back a couple of years. Now, a couple of years might seem like a lot, but there's a reason that we do that. And that's mostly to talk about patterns like, hey, this is what's been going on in your neighborhood over the last year or two. And then we select an area. So let me just demonstrate that. So I'm going to jump into my MLS here. Your MLS probably looks different than this, but I'm going to do a quick search. And they all kind of work the same. And we have instructions on how to use this with your specific MLS. I'm located just outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Personally lived like kind of in the middle between Milwaukee and Madison. But anyways, you can kind of see the map here. So the first thing I want to do is select all my statuses. And I want to go back 2 years on my status for sold. So I'll type in 2003 there. And for expireds, I'll do 2003. And then I want to view the map. And there's going to be a lot of activity here. But what I do want to do is do a real estate review in a specific area. And I know the area, so I just need to zoom in on it. And I can kind of see it. Here it is right here. So it's this area right here is where I want to do it. So you can do the search by subdivision. Personally, I like to do a map search because then I can clearly define the boundaries that I want to use. So from here, I'm going to use a polygon shape and just create a boundary around this neighborhood. This is the neighborhood I want to do a real estate review on. Now it's going to only pull in the data from this area. So you can see here in my view results, I don't know if you can see it, but it shows 75 properties over the last 2 years of all statuses. So that's what we have right here in this neighborhood. So now from here, I can export this data. I'm going to export. And like I said, your MLS will probably look a little bit different, but they all have export options. Now, this particular neighborhood is called East Lake Village. I've already downloaded it, but I'm just doing it again just for demonstration purposes. And now I'm done there. So that took me a couple minutes to do my search. So now what I'm going to do is going to open the Focus First tool. It'll bring you right here. And from here, I will click Start Here. And that will I have a couple screens here, so I just have to drag this over. That will bring up a list of MLSs. So you would have to find your MLS. You can see all these in California. I'm going to be down here in Wisconsin. Let's see. Oh, too far. Milwaukee. There it is. So I select that MLS. And now I'm going to go to my desktop here and select my file. There's a file I just downloaded. Click Open. And this just asks me how I want to title my graphs. I'm just going to leave it as is. So we'll click Done. And there we go. Now my real estate review is complete. So as you can see, that took me a total of about maybe 5 minutes to do that. So the first thing, what are we looking at here? So the first thing we're looking at is on page 1 over here on the left. is a time to sell chart. So over here on the left side is the price of the homes, the price range, and that shows all these blue dots represent homes that closed. And then across the bottom is days on market. This red line represents the average days on market. So in this case, in the last 12 months, the average days to close in this area was 63 days. That's list date to close date. So that probably means that they were under contract in like 30 days. Average close price was 708,256. So it gives me the average days to close and the average price, and that's in the last 12 months. Here's the odds of selling. If I were to have listed my home in this area within the last 12 months, my odds of selling were 86%. 86 is pretty good. That means that 86% of the homes in the last 12 months have gone under contract and have closed. Properties are selling at a rate of 2.6 per month with 1.2 months of inventory available. So anything below a 6 is leaning towards a seller. Anything above a 6 is leaning towards a buyer. So inventory is low. This particular neighborhood is leaning towards a buyer or a seller. I'm sorry, towards a seller. So that's the odds of selling. At the bottom, it shows when homes closed. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see this. Buying pattern shows when properties closed in the last year. So this is the rolling 12 months. Over here on the end is August. Currently, nothing has closed, but we know up here there's 6 under contract. So some of these 6 will probably close by the end of the month. But as of right now, nothing has closed this month. And then this goes back to last year in September. So September through July and then August. You can see September, a lot of closings. Then there's a lot of onesies, twosies here. And then in, what is that, May, it picked up some more with closings. So if we know the average days on market is 63 days, we know that these homes here were probably listed between May, April, and May. And they closed here, or I mean, March, April, and May. And they closed here in May, June, July. So that's how we can kind of determine when they were listed. And this is a great view here to let your client know, because a lot of times they'll have a question of, hey, when is the best time to list my home? And sometimes you can see specific patterns and seasonality in certain neighborhoods. So that's why you would use that. So all of page 1 talks about the last 12 months. Page 2 is your pricing scattergram. Now, page 2 might be a little bit different as far as the dates. It may not necessarily be 12 months. It'll have the dates here at the top. So this particular one shows May 21st through July 31st. So this is the most recent closed properties. Now, if you remember when we did our search, I went back 2 years, but our scattergram is only going to pull in the last 3 to 6 months. It just depends on how much data is in the file. So as you can see here on the scattergram, we have the price across the left. Across the bottom is the square footage. And in this particular case, the subject property I'm working with to do a real estate review is 3,900 square feet. So I go to 3,900, go straight up to see where it hits the fair market value line. And that's the fair market value for that home. So that would be about 780. Doesn't mean that's what we would list it for, but it just gives them a general idea of value. Which down here on the bottom, it says this report is meant to give you a general idea of your home's value in today's market. And then from there, it says if you have questions and you want a more detailed analysis, then we can move on to the next step. Not really going to get into that much here, but that would be these other buttons across the top. which would be more of your CMA. So that's patterns, which is all these graphs here. And pricing, this is all our data. This is our scattergram. And then positioning, which it shows all our actives and a real estate pond. So that's more of the CMA side. So there's a whole process to that. I'll show you a sample of one here in a minute. But going back to the real estate review, it's just a short little 2-page report. We like to add a cover page to it, and then also the local FHFA graph. So with your Focus First account, I'm going to go ahead and log in here. Actually, I'm already logged in. When you have your inside your Focus First account, we have these government graphs, federal housing graphs. And from here, you guys are in California. So from here, you can see the state appreciation. So let me zoom in a little bit. So here's the whole state going back to 2005. As you can see, all this red is depreciation. That was a housing market crash right there. And then in 2012, it started appreciating again. 2021, almost 20%. This year, 0.2 so far. So that's the whole state. And I think you guys are kind of close to Sacramento. So that would be here. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. Looks pretty much the same as the whole state. Here's the housing market crash back in the 2006 to 2011. Started picking back up. 19.8% in 2021. Had a little bit of a depreciation in 22. And then back to normal here with 3.1. So far this year, 0.4 appreciation. So this is government data right here. And what we do is we take that government data and we just put it on these graphs for you. Because if you go to the FHFA.gov website, they'll have all these numbers there and they're really hard to understand and read. So we just put it on these graphs. So my point to showing you this is we include this in the real estate review as well. So let me just show you a sample of the real estate review. See if I can find it here. All right, here we go. So here's a sample, 4 pages. That's it. You can do this over Zoom with a client, or you can do it in person. You have your cover page. You can create one. We have like 20 samples that you can use and just use it as your own, or you can just create your own cover page. And then here you can put your contact information here and your logo here. So that's the first page. Second page is your first page of your real estate review. And then the third page is your actual second page of the real estate review. So here's your pricing scattergram. And here you can see I put a dashed line in here to represent the subject property. In this particular sample, here's the square footage of our home. It crosses the fair market value line at 1.2 million. So that would be the fair market value of that home. Like I said, doesn't mean that's what they would list it for if they wanted to sell it. But for starters, it gives them a general idea of value. And then for the third page, this particular example is from San Antonio, Texas. And we have our appreciation graph for San Antonio. And that's it. That's all you're doing. You're just doing a quick snapshot, 15-minute sit down. Here's your real estate review. And then you just use the rest of the time to just catch up with them and just mainly this is used for your past clients. That way you can stay in contact with them once a year and just give them market updates once a year. Now, if they decide they want to take it to the next level and possibly list their home, now you're jumping into doing a full-blown CMA, a full-blown presentation. So a sample of that, let me pull that over, would be this here. So you have your cover page. You can customize it the way you want. Table of contents. And then we're talking about their home here. So usually I would put a Google map view of their neighborhood, satellite view, and then their MLS sheet from when they purchased their home. And then we're going to talk about FHFA. So in this case, we have the state of Texas and we have San Antonio. And then now we're going to talk about neighborhood patterns. Now the neighborhood patterns are going to go back 2 years. If you remember, we did a 2-year search. So this shows odds of selling for 2 years. And then now we have time to sell graphs for 2 years. And we have buying patterns for 2 years. Here we're looking for seasonality. And then now we're going to jump into pricing. So what's our most recently closed properties? Well, I'll put a map of the recently closed properties here. Here's all the most recent closed properties. And those are all mapped right here. And like I showed you before, on a real estate review, fair market value is 1.2. But as you can see, there's some properties that sold above the fair market value line. There's some that sold below. So now we want to kind of compare them to these properties here to see if we should be priced up here or maybe down here. It's all going to depend on features, amenities, condition, style, location, size of lot. Those are other factors of pricing. And then from here, we're going to talk about a competitive pricing range. And we'll get into for sales in the area. And then here's our properties that are for sale. Here's our real estate pond that gives a 90-day projection. In this case, it's favoring buyers. Projecting 6 new listings, projecting 7 will close. And we're going to talk about the competitive advantage. And then here's a graph of them right here in this red circle, just above 1.2 million. And all the green dots represent the active. So this is their competition. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about bridge pricing. And then to close it off, we're going to ask them, what do you think you should list your home at? Now that you know everything that I've just showed you, based on all this information, where do you expect to list your home at? And let them come up with a price. So as an agent, you already know, walking in the house, you already know 1.2 right out of the gate. But how do you get them to understand that? And by showing them everything you just showed them, they're probably going to say, I think we should list at 1.2. And you're going to say, that's exactly what I was thinking, because basically you led them to that price. And then from here, you can add additional resources. Usually you'll add like MLS sheets for comparables and actives in their area. So that's just more at the end. You don't necessarily have to go through them all, but it's just additional resources for them. And that's pretty much it. So that's your sample of a CMA with all the additional slides in there. And then a sample of the real estate review. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but let me just find, where am I at here? All right, everybody can still see my screen, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to see if I'm trying to find the comment area. And that way if anybody has any questions, you can type it in there, or you can just turn on your mic, I guess, and ask any questions. That's pretty much everything I have right there.
Awesome. Thanks, Art. Does anybody have any questions for Art? How this works?
Share the pricing of the system.
Wait, how much does it cost to have access to this, Art?
Okay, so what we could do is offer Focus First free for 30 days. However, after 30 days, your subscription would kick in, and it's $39 a month. What that includes is obviously access to the system. It includes support from myself and Priscilla. Priscilla's my other support person. So we would typically help you with any technical issues you have, or even if you just need help getting up and running. Sometimes just getting up and running is a challenge, getting everything set up, understanding how to use Focus First. You have access to all the tools, tutorials, FHFA graphs. So it's $39 a month. But we could do it for the first 30 for free. And if you decide to switch to an annual, it comes out cheaper because then you just pay $300 for a whole year. So it averages 25 a month or 174 for every 6 months. But if you want to give it a shot at no charge, you just click on the monthly one. This is only under the monthly. And right here where it says have a promo, type in free 30. So basically a free 30 days. And then click apply. Yeah, that's one of the requirements. And that's probably like something that a lot of people hate. But like I said, we're getting away from Excel and we're going to have a web application. So that should eliminate that process. But as you can see here, once I typed in the promo code of free 30, it's all uppercase. It might work with lowercase, but just uppercase free 30, no space. And then you can see it zeroes out the price. You still have to enter your credit card info and things like that, but we'll give you'll get a warning like a week out that your subscription's about to kick in. So what a lot of agents do is you can do one or three things. You can cancel at that time, or you could do nothing and then a subscription will kick in a week. Or a lot of agents reach out and say, hey, I'm loving this. This is working really good for me. Can I just switch it to an annual? So instead of paying 39, you just pay 300 for 12 months. So we'll just switch it over at that time. It does require, as you can see, the system requirements, Microsoft 365 for home subscription. You can purchase, some people don't like doing subscriptions, so they just purchase Microsoft Office. You can do that. I think it's like $140, just one time, boom, you bought it. You're good to go for 5 years until they make you buy it again. But that's two options. You can do a Microsoft subscription or just buy it. But you would do that at their website. Their website is let's go to office.com if you don't have it. And then up here under products, you can see for home, pricing for home products. And then this shows the subscription options. And then this right here is like the one-time purchase option. That's $149.99 for one-time purchase. So that's the only negative is if you don't already have that, you would need that for it to work properly on your Mac or your PC. So, but outside of that, go ahead.
Hey, Art, so if we have like a team, we're willing to provide like this for our team, how does that work? Is there like a team package or how do I, right now it's just on my computer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to manually, because we don't have anything that you could sign up a team on the website. So I have to manually do it on my end. So as long as you have 5 or more people on your team, then we just do it for $20 a month per team member instead of $39 a month. So it's about, half off basically. But we only do it for monthlies because. And the reason we do that is because sometimes team members come and go. So you might have somebody leave or they go off on their own. So now you're like, hey, I'm down to 6 team members now. So then we can adjust your invoice monthly. But it'll be 20 per user. So if you have 6 people, it's $120 a month. So it's about a 50% discount from 39. So
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, guys. Any
Yeah.
other questions for No, we're short on time.
Is there a mobile version or is it just desktop?
Is there a mobile version or is it just desktop?
It's just the desktop version, but what I do is these samples here, I have them saved to PDF, so you can save your graphs to a PDF. And then obviously you can view PDFs on an iPad or tablet or your phone, actually. So all you have to do is just when you're finished creating your graphs, just save them as PDFs and you can view them on any device, really.
On our market, it's kind of like being Ryan Lundquist, pulling the graphs for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for being on here,
Oh.
Art, guys. It's helpful.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you for your
be
time,
sure to
sir.
reach out if you have any questions. Here's my email, art@focusfirst.com. And my phone number right there. I don't know if you guys are recording this, but or you can just find us at focusfirst.com.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Have a great day.
Take care, everybody.
All
Bye.
right. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, guys. So that's part one of Tech Thursday. Right. We have part two coming up with MetroList, right? Lisa was kind enough to bring us that spread over there. Lisa was Snap NHD, and Lisa's the reason why we were able to get MetroList in here today. Give Lisa a round of applause. We're going from the
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of twice this week now. Joey yesterday, great event for EXP. Love you guys. Don't tell the others, they get jealous. Anyway, so, I'm always talking NHD and zip forms and all that fun stuff, but, I'm always trying to think of things outside of the box, things that will help you guys grow your business and save you time. So I have recently been having the great honor of working with Colby. He's with MetroList. He's the trainer for them. And he is amazing. So I just want to bring him to you guys, share the love, and I hope you guys all take away, I know you will, at least a few things that will help you in your business to save you time so you can go out and get more business. Now, if I have not worked with you, you get 50% off of your first report. I would love to work with all of you. So I know I'm a little greedy, but send me an NHD and I will take great care of you. So thank you for having me.
And with Snap, if you order the NHD, if you have a listing, you can order it up front.
Yeah.
If it ends up not closing, your seller doesn't pay.
So you want to team up with me?
I might. If real estate doesn't work out, I got plan B. Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Johnny.
Well, take it away, Colby.
Awesome.
Here we go.
Well, thank you guys for having me. Again, my name is Colby. If you've met me before, I play a lot on my name. My name is Colby Bryant, so you might see reference to Kobe Bryant in my presentations. But a couple of things that I want to talk to you guys about today are just, again, some tools that are going to help you kind of increase your business. The first one being MetroList Voice. If you haven't heard of it, basically what it is, it's an AI tool that I get to use. Now I can walk around a house after a listing presentation and talk about the features of that house straight to my phone. And there's going to be two options. It's a guided tour. So the AI part of it will come in and say, okay, well, tell me what's on the main level. Tell me about the master bedroom. Tell me about the kitchen. And just start naming features off. If you don't like doing it that way, the way I would recommend is, still have our profile sheet with you and walk through the profile sheet and say, this is the address. This is, the parking features. I'm just naming some of the things that I know are on that form because there's so much, right? So that's why it's a good idea to have that with you. That way I can hit on every topic as I'm walking through the house and in essence, fill out a listing information page without ever having to get on the computer. Now, I would definitely still want to go in there and, review everything on the computer. But again, MetroList Voice, it's built specifically for us. So it's the first kind of thing of its kind. Helps us, again, with that time-saving feature. Now I don't have to sit there and tediously mark out one of those forms. I don't have to sit there and, type everything out. Again, this is the first of its kind. Nationwide, nobody else really has anything like this. So this is kind of groundbreaking for you guys. It's built for you, so it's going to help streamline your process. It's going to give you the ability to reduce errors and again, save time. And that's what we're all about, right? Making sure you don't miss any information And that way you can begin drafting your listing again while you're at that house. Okay, so right away. So if you guys want that app, it is available for you. There's a QR code you can scan. It will take you right to either the App Store or the Play Store, and you can download it now. As you can see there, it says you just log in with your MetroList ID. So definitely jump in on that. That is a great tool for you. If you're not going to use the QR code, again, you can just look up MetroList Voice and download it that way. You'll see that big old ML there. Okay, but it's real simple to use. So as soon as you open the app, anytime you open the app, it's going to say, hey, let's get started creating a listing. You'll turn the mic on and off. So you'll turn it on. You'll say, hey, I'm at 123 Main Street, right? And then I'm done. Exactly. Yep. So it's already going.
Yeah.
So it's a great little tool for you. Again, you can do a free flow type thing where you're just going off and naming what you see. With the free flow, I kind of prefer to use the cheat sheet of that profile sheet, or you can do the guided input, which is allowing the AI to speak to you and ask you questions. So you can input that information. Okay. What I would recommend is when you're adding the address, one thing that I've run into is the AI isn't that good of a speller. Okay. And we all know that some of these streets, I may say it differently than the AI is going to pick it up. My home specifically, I live on a street called Jobar. It's one word, Joebar. It put it 2 words, Jobarr. And so I had to go in and correct that. So one thing you can do is if you just spell it out for it, hey, I live 9783 Jobar Circle. Jobar is Joebar. And then you give the city, the county, and then you can even put a listing price immediately there. You don't want to put the listing price, that's fine. You can always add that when the listing is in that incomplete form. Once you're done, it actually will send you a couple things. So the app is going to auto-populate an incomplete listing for you. So when I go into the MLS, when I go into Prospector Plus, I can go to my listings, go to incomplete listings, and boom, I'll see it there. Yes, sir.
Just a quick question on that free flow or guided input.
Yeah.
Do you have a recommendation on that? It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So again, with the free flow, it's really, you could go in and just talk about what you see. Yeah. With the free flow, I do recommend to have a profile sheet with you. That way it's kind of guided, but at least that way, if I go through and I'm naming off, hey, with the parking features, it has this and this. I know that I'm going to be filling in those particular things. So really, when I do it that way, I really don't have to worry about exactly, or even going and checking it. Obviously, I'm going to still go and check it, but it will show me, and that's kind of what the second half of this is once I'm done, it sends me an email. And the email will show me, hey, these are the fields that I captured, and this is the information I captured within those fields. And then underneath that, it's actually going to show you, hey, this is what you said, but this is what I didn't capture. Like I didn't capture any of this, and this is why. So it's pretty neat that it gives you that breakdown of why it worked, why it didn't work kind of thing. Okay. And like I said, it automatically syncs to Prospector Plus as an incomplete listing. So once I'm done with it, I can go in knowing that I'll have that incomplete listing there. Okay. When you go through and you look at the house, you can say, and obviously we must have been up in the foothills or something. Hey, it's got a mountain view, right? It's 4 bedrooms, 3 bath. There's an island in the kitchen, and it's got a fireplace. So you can go through and name off all those features, and it's going to take that information and add it in for you. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like. This is the home screen. You'll see here you've got your address. You've got your required fields, right? So it tells you, and the cool thing is it will still pull in tax data, right? So as soon as I go in there and say the address, it'll pull in tax data. So it'll tell me, hey, this is the amount of fields that I've already added in. These are the amount of fields that are required. And then the on-site fields are talking about those non-required fields. So total amount versus how many I've filled out. Okay, it gives you a breakdown after that of the price you've set, the bedroom, bathroom, and square footage of that property. And then below that, it'll show you the progress. So, hey, I've been in the bathroom. I've got two 2 out of 3 of the fields filled out for it. Now that's all talking about required information. So I can go in there and I can literally just click on bathrooms on the phone and it'll pull up the one that I'm missing so I can talk about it. So it's really neat, really intuitive. And then down below is where you've got all your action little items. That microphone, like I said, you just turn it on and off. I turn it on, I speak whatever I'm saying, and then turn it off, and then the AI will capture whatever I've just said. Okay. So once you're done, you can say, hey, I want to review this listing. That's when you're going to get that report emailed to you, and it's going to give you that breakdown of what it captured, what it didn't capture. You want to go through and confirm all the required fields are put in correctly. Like I said, you got to take it upon yourself to still go in and review that listing. AI can't save the day for us, right? And then again, you want to review any of those unmapped fields. So like I said, in that email, you're going to get, hey, this is what it captured. This is what it did not capture. And then I can go through and look at all those non-captured fields and go and place them in. And it even goes as far as giving you a transcript, right? So it says, hey, this is what you said. This is what AI said. This is what you said. So I can actually review that entire transcript. Maybe it missed something and I can still add information in that way. Okay. So some of the best tips or practices for it, again, fully review that listing before you submit it. It's not going to actually submit it through the app. So you do have to go in there and click the submit button, but I would hope, you know, that before you click submit, you're going through and actually reading it and making sure everything's filled out. Okay. Again, when you're talking about editing, you can actually go through and edit the listing with the voice. So if I have multiple listings I'm putting in, I can pull up that listing number, say switch listing in the app, give it the listing number I want to work with, and it's going to pull that information up for me. So again, I don't have to edit the app on the computer. I can edit it or can continue to fill it out through, I don't have to edit it through the computer. I can edit it through the app. I think I said that wrong at first. But again, just need the listing number. So find that through the Prospector Plus system. And then again, you just want to add this to your existing workflow. It's going to save you time. It's a really cool app to get, you know, working with. And, you know, if you have questions, definitely reach out to us. I have something else to show you that you definitely want to use in tandem with this. I think you guys are going to like it again. So again, now we're talking about AI some more. And these ones I can actually show you a live demo because they just dropped on Tuesday. Okay. So the first one is called an AI picture search. Okay. So if I have a client who comes up to me and says, hey, you know, I'm really looking for, I saw this house online and man, that kitchen was beautiful, right? It had a nice white kitchen. All the cabinets were white. So if I go in here, I can find a photo and let me kind of show you. So I'm going to pick this one right here, right? This is what they asked for. Nice white cabinets and everything in there is white countertops and everything. So we're going to search for it. Okay, first thing I want you to know though is that it doesn't specifically pick up on just the fact that it's a white kitchen, that it's white cabinets. It's going to find a combination of everything that it sees. And I'll show you that here. Okay, so the first thing I see is that for one, it pulls me all the different property types that it's found, 220 residential properties that it's found that match that photo. So what I want to do is I actually just want to go up here and click on pictures. It's going to give me the comparison image up here at the top. So, hey, this is what we were looking for. So if I work on this first house and I come through and look at the kitchen, okay, right here. Okay, they're white cabinets. So that's what it picked out. This is a kitchen that has white cabinets. Okay, if I scroll through and look at a different house, okay, again, white cabinets. This one also picked on the fact that, hey, there's chairs and a little island there. So that's what it's pulling up. Maybe it's thinking that I'm looking for the island with like the bar stool feel to it, right? So that's really what I like about this is that I can kind of use it to pick out what is most meaningful to my client. So again, that white cabinets.
Can you narrow it down by like price?
Not yet. Yeah. So one thing you can do though is I can sort it by price.
Okay.
So if I'm on my grid view, I can go here and if I click list to close price one time, it's going to see you put an up arrow there. So that's ascending order. So now if I go up here, I'm going to have them grouped. Okay. Another thing that I can do is, I'm not really sure because right now it's not saying, hey, I want to look in specifically Roseville or I want to specifically look in, Sacramento or wherever. But what I can do with this system is if I grab city, I could just pull it up here to the top, just above all of them. And let me see. Yep. So as you can see here, it's grouped all the different cities together and put them in alphabetical order. So now if I want to, I can go Control F or Command F and say Roseville. And then boom, there's all my homes in Roseville that match that. Okay. If I want, I could take this, check these 4 listings, open this up, only view the check listings, go into the pictures and see which one of those houses kind of matches their information the best, right? So neat little tool. This is just the first iteration of it. So there's going to be a lot more additions that we add to it, being able to sort or put other criteria in there. That's the goal for us is, hey, I only want to look for residential properties. I only want to look for, this area district, this city, things like that. So don't be shocked if it's a lot that it pulls in right now. It is something that's going to be kind of getting better as it moves forward. Again, it's kind of the first iteration, first of its kind across the country. So you can kind of understand why.
In the country.
I believe so. Yeah, this and the Metroless voice. It's kind of groundbreaking. Not a lot of MLSs are using AI right now.
Got agents that have fully integrated it already?
Yeah. And so one thing, this is the other part of it, right? So we were talking about Metroless voice being the AI that I could talk to. So the other half of this AI tool is actually when it comes into adding listings. So if I come in here and add a listing, I'm gonna sell my parents' house, don't tell them.
What are you paying on the buy side?
Okay. So we pull their information in. I'm still going to do the same thing where I'm placing the pin on the map. Yep, that's the right one. Real quick with this, guys, if it's somewhere you're not familiar with and you've only been there once, but you remember what the front of the house looks like, I can grab this little guy here. I like to call him Fred. He's actually called Pegman, but I just drop him right here on the road. And hey, it shows me what the house actually looks like. Yes, I know that that's the right one. Okay. Go ahead and continue to listing input. Now, this is new, right? So it doesn't take me into the actual listing input right away. So what I can do is I can come in here and say, hey, you know what? I want to add pictures. Okay, we're going to add these pictures in. For one, if I select the pictures, I can actually generate an AI description off of the picture. So for one, it's going to take this information it sees and go through and write a description for every one. Okay. One thing that I actually recommend, this isn't part of the AI, you've probably heard of it before. It's the mark photos as private, right? This is a great time to do that. All you got to do is select all photos, mark them as private. Okay. It doesn't mark the first one, but all the other ones, right? So when it goes pending, when it goes closed, they automatically drop off of all those third-party sites. That way you don't have to worry about a buyer's agent calling you up and saying, hey, my client is really wanting these pictures off the internet. Now you can do it after the fact, after you've closed it. It's just a little bit more time consuming. I go through, I do the same steps, but I actually then have to reach out to tech support and say, hey, I just marked the photos on as private in this closed listing. And they'll go through and refresh the listing and send it back out to the third-party site. So it's just a lot easier just to do it before or when I'm putting those pictures in. I just wanted to throw that out there. But what I want to do here now is
Market is private though right now. What if you do like a pending, that's the type of pending? Are there any statuses that keep photos up?
Yeah, so any active status, right? Any active status, they're going to stay up as soon as it goes off market. So hold, pending, closed, canceled, expired, it's all automatically going to drop off.
Okay.
But it's still going to be on Prospector. So if it does go cancel, right? If they cancel it because they're not actually ready to sell it, I'm going to put it on, in 2 months. They don't do anything to the house. I can go to that old listing and then still copy those pictures over to the new one without having to upload them again. Okay. So they're still your pictures. Okay. So what I want to do is, I'm not going to generate the AI description right now. You can do that. But if I just go here and click add or save and continue, and this is something you can do from a incomplete listing as well. So now you can use Metrolist voice in tandem with this, right? And it's going to pick up extra stuff. So that's why it's taking so long now, is because AI is actually scanning all the photos, right? It's going to scan all the photos. It's going to tell me what features it's found, and it's going to give me a little checklist of, hey, these are the fields that I found, and these are the features within those fields that I've populated. So I guess while I'm waiting for this, I can ask you guys, how do you like MLS 11? Different.
Yeah.
Is anyone uncomfortable with it? Missing where information is? Any questions about that system that I can kind of answer for you?
Where do you suggest going? Like, he's getting ready to take his test, and so like, what do you suggest he learns first, since it's kind of overwhelming?
Well, PCAR is every month they hold Metrolist trainings. So
Okay.
there's 3 sessions that we host. There's a session 1, which is just kind of understanding who Metrolist is and what they offer for you, and then diving into the searches and the results. The session 2 is how can I create CMAs, and then from that CMA, how can I create a listing? Okay, and then the 3rd session is what programs do we offer that offer lead generation, and then how can I turn that into auto prospecting, right? Where I'm now sending those out. So really, I would start with those 3. I know that Lisa said that, I come with her. I can do these every quarter. If you just reach out to me, and I've got plenty of business cards for you guys. Just reach out to me. I could do office trainings on whatever topic, whatever program you guys want, to give you kind of an in-depth look at it and show you kind of the best ways to utilize it for your business. So that's always an option for you.
Those trainings are all at PCAR?
Yeah, so they're at every association that we work with. They're Metrolist training. So if you're bold enough, you can drive down to Modesto and do the ones down there. If you like to drive, like I do, I like going up to Nevada County. So they're Metrolist training. So it doesn't matter what association they're at. You can go be a part of them for
On
free.
the PCAR website?
I'll show you where it's at in just a second, because there's another piece in there that you guys can utilize that'll benefit you. So here we go, AI feature recognition. It pulled in all the different features that it found, and then information from those features. Okay, so I'm going to click save and continue. Okay, and then that's when, pardon me, it brings me into that listing information. Okay, and then if I go through, we'll see that some of those features are already checked in. I think appliances was one of them, so let's quickly find that so I'm not... There we go, right? Appliances, so it's already filled in some of that information. So just think of how awesome this is, that now I can go into a listing presentation. They say yes, they sign the contract. I whip out my profile sheet. I walk through the house, name everything off through Metrolist Voice, and then I snap pictures of everything that I see. Once I've got that incomplete listing, I dump all those pictures in. They don't have to be the pictures I'm going to use for MLS, but they could be the pictures that I'm going to use to pull information, right? I can always take those out later. It's not going to remove the information if I take those pictures out. So it's a great option for you.
You have to manually check it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there a way, I don't know if this is a Metrolist or if this is just one of the portals, but I get requests from clients, I want these features highlighted on Zillow or these features highlighted on realtor.com.
Mhm.
And Is there a way in here that we can make sure those features are shown more prominently on the portals? Is that a Metrolist thing or is that a Zillow thing?
No, so that would be a Metrolist thing. You would ask us, we would send that up to Rapatoni. Rapatoni is the builder of our site. We just kind of fill our information onto their site. That is an actual great idea. I've never heard anyone ask that. I've been with the company for 5 years. I think that's awesome, right? If people are specifying, you know, I'm looking for this. Now, the big difference is that, you know, normally I would just tailor my search to find that stuff. But maybe I keep it broad and I just want to be able to highlight some of that information for them. So, I mean, that one, to be honest with you, if I send it up to them, and I don't mind doing it, they'll probably reject it because they're going to say, well, you can search for that information, or you can go through and tailor the results for your client saying, hey, these already have this information. And one of the ways you could do that is when you're looking at your results. Let me just pull up some results here real quick. Okay, when you're looking at results, if you didn't know, okay, one of the reasons I always show public, private, and showing instructions is because we offer this tool here, Find Text. So I can come in here and say, hey, I'm looking for homes that have solar. And it's going to immediately highlight the properties that have solar for me. So I can go through and view all that information. Okay, some of them might be, you know, ready for solar. Some of them might be solar owned, solar leased, just depends on the property individually. It will find things like pool, right? But it's also going to tell me, you know, plenty of space in the backyard for pool. It's going to say, you know, across from the public pool.
So the question though, at least for us, is the buyers of,
Right.
of our sellers'
Right.
houses are scanning those,
Mhm.
or the sellers want certain things highlighted for their potential buyers. They don't have access to this type of stuff.
Right. So what the goal would be is that you get that information out of them and you highlight it in the public remarks, right? That would be the
That'll
best
then
way.
get pushed to the top of whatever the different websites have.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now the one thing that I've found, I guess, is that not all third-party sites host that information. Most of the major ones do, but not all of them. So you might find a website that doesn't have the public remarks in there. But I mean, that honestly, that's going to be the best way to sell features of the home,
Okay.
right? Is through the public remarks. So yeah. And with that, again, if we're talking about being able to pull features out, right? If you didn't know, we can actually search by the public remarks.
Yeah, do that.
So yeah, this is a great one. And if you guys will allow me to you know, play around
It
here
works
for a
pretty well,
second.
too.
It does, yeah. One of the ones that I like to show the most is going to be the property condition, right? So people who are looking for fixers, this is great for investors. Okay, so if I go and I look in, let's do Placer. We're up in Placer. We'll do Placer County. I don't know what the numbers are going to be, but we'll do that. Okay. Okay, so we look property condition. Now this is the field that people will actually go and click on and say, hey, this home is a fixer. Okay, so if I preview count that, 12 homes that are active right now say that they're fixers. Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and clear that. Okay, I always like to reset that. So let's remember 12, right? Now I'm going to go down here and I'm going to type in fixer, handyman, TLC, as is, cash only, tool belt. What other terms?
You're doing a better job than I would have.
Yeah.
I do this a lot, that's why. I know I'm missing a few, but let's just take a look at these ones here. Oh, contractor, that's another.
Special.
Yep, contractor. That one usually gets a lot. So let's do that. Contractor, okay? So 14, not too many, right? Different. That's two more homes. But let's actually see if they're the same homes. So how many people did both? 5. So that shows you that there's actually a big difference between how many people market and sell it the way that it should be, and then how many people do one or the other. Okay, so in my situation, when I'm training, you know, when it comes to working for investors, working for people looking for stuff like that, I always suggest that, hey, when I'm setting up an auto prospecting search for that client, I want to do one of each. And then what's going to happen is the 5 that they share, right? It's not going to put them in twice. It's going to say, okay, the 12 that I found for property condition, I'm going to place those in. And then now I got to do some math. The 9 different listings, right, that had all those terms in there will be added on top of that. Okay, on top of those 12. So that way they get a more complete view of actually the type of homes they're looking for. So that's pretty much all I've got for you guys as far as some of the tools we've got. I would love to answer any questions for you. I don't want to take too much of your time, so I'll hang out for a little bit if you guys want to ask any questions. But when it comes to all that training under MLS Toolkit from this MLS dashboard, okay, click on free training right here. And the first thing we're going to see is our training calendar. So the training calendar is going to have all of our class locations. We do online and webinar stuff, so you'll see the difference. You can check, hey, this is where I want to view information from. So actually, I go like that. It's going to show you the PCAR one here or anything online. Okay. If I go below that, I actually have on-demand videos. So these 4 here, right? There's multiple videos within each category, but those are actually recorded webinars. So that'll give you the entire class in that video. Most of them are about an hour long. So you can always go through and get that information. If you've gone through any of the training, or if you're, you know, hitting a road bump, office hours, this is a great tool for you guys. So just like you would have done in college, right? I come in here, I say, hey, when's Professor Colby going to be available on the 18th? I select a time, next, name, email, what I want help with, any other information that might be helpful in that regards, and then schedule the event. So then you get a 30-minute Zoom session with me, and I can talk you through, walk you through anything you need help with. I usually recommend showing your screen so I could see what you're doing, where you're struggling, and then that way I can kind of guide you through it after that. Okay.
Professor Colby.
Yes, sir.
You have to be a licensed, like, does that have to be your account to book the meeting, or like a transaction coordinator or an assistant?
No, so it doesn't ask for ID or anything like that. So yeah, TCs can do it. The one thing that obviously I'm going to ask is that whoever is scheduling the account or scheduling that meeting, you know, has access into MetroList, and it be their own. For legal purposes, I have to say it has to be their own account.
Like an administrator,
Right. So if it's a TC, right? Transaction coordinators, they do have an account most of the time,
Yeah, I
right?
used
It's
to-
just not
yeah.
an agent account.
Yeah.
So a TC can do it so they can get help with what they're trying to do, right? We can walk them through whatever it
Administrative
is.
access.
Exactly.
I used to do that for my assistant.
Broker can do it for themselves. Agents can do it for themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And then again, if you are interested in having me come back up here and teach for you guys, you can always click right here on the office training request and then fill that out, and boom, here I am.
How long, so do we typically need to book you out 90 days in advance, or you pre-booked up?
No, I mean, it depends month to month. In the winter time, I'm usually a little bit slower, but most real estate agents are as well. The summertime, you know, a lot of people are on vacation. So spring and that fall time, that's usually when I tend to be the busiest. But I mean, really just reach out. And like I said, I'll give you my
Book him before he leaves for 90 days out. No?
yeah. But I can always give you a business card too, and you
Yeah, that'd be
reach out
great, that'd be
whenever.
great, yeah.
And then we could set something up. Even when it comes to that office hours thing, right? It's like today afterwards, I don't have scheduled office hours, but I also don't have any other meetings scheduled. So if you needed extra help, reach out to me today, and hey, we can set something up like that.
Really important question. Do you smoke cigars?
I do not. I used to, but I'm trying to get away from all those kind of things.
This was phenomenal.
Thank you, thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
artwork was awesome, man.
Cigar work.
Definitely need to do this again.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, I'd love to get one of your cards.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I've got
90
plenty of
days,
them.
I do
Yeah.
monthly events for my team out in Elk Grove. Would you
Okay.
be willing to travel?
Yeah, I mean, I live in Elk Grove, so that
Okay,
works for
perfect.
me.
Yeah, get one
Yeah.
of your cards.
Grew up in Elk Grove?
I didn't grow up in Elk Grove.
You drove.
Oh, yeah. I
Wow.
drive as far south as Merced County and as far north as Nevada County. So I'm a traveling man.
Windshield warrior.
Yeah. But it's cool. I like to drive. I got a little Civic SI, so got the manual transmission, so make sure that I don't get caught by anybody. But yeah, so that's all I got for you guys. Again, like I said, if you guys have any questions for me, by all means, feel free to ask me. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, but as you can see, I got one of my pictures up there of Kobe. So I wasn't lying about it.